You're up.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Team Powerhouse show live, very much with us, you here, Eric here, and a very special guest. His name is Frankie Bones. He's from Ernie's Auto in Waterbury, a fantastic guy. It's actually Frank Whitby from Ernie's Auto in Waterbury, an amazing guy, a special guest. I want to apologize to you guys in advance. We are running a few minutes behind, a little bit of technical issues.
And the sound's going to be a little bit off too.
So we need to know from you if you can hear us, please, in advance.
For Facebook.
For Facebook.
Let us know if you can hear us.
If there's a problem with hearing us, definitely let us know. And we'll do the best we can. Frank, come a little closer.
Yeah, Frank, don't be scared.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all. The nicest guy you're going to meet, by the way, on the show so far to this date. I mean, not to take away from anybody else who's had the show.
We've had some great guests too.
Some great guests. But such a nice guy.
Thank you.
Got to know him a little bit for the first time for me. Eric knows
And
him
it's
for
not the alcohol.
It's not the alcohol.
No.
That is not vodka.
Really me.
All right, so Frank Whitby from Ernie's Auto in Waterbury, Connecticut, located on 24 Marion Road. If you're looking to buy a car, a used car, this is a family business. So let's talk about that family business. How long has your company been in business for?
My dad bought the company from Ernie himself in 1984.
Wow,
So yeah, this will be 40 years
that's
this year.
crazy.
Yeah. So that's where the Ernie name comes from.
Love
They just kept the name. My dad was partners with Ernie's son-in-law, and they kept the name. They kept it going.
Very cool stuff. And what's your dad's name?
But he's Frank Whitby too.
Hey, Frank, we want to thank you so much. We will get you on the show next time as well. Here with son, an amazing guy, as you know.
Dad's got like a really cool car.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's been dealing with exotics for a long time, and he has a Ford GT, a 2005 Ford GT.
I don't think he knows what that looks like, but it looks like something on a speed racer.
I
It was really cool
have
car.
a slight idea what it looks like. I probably need to see more of a photo because I want maybe you can get a
It's a
ride in the
unique-
car.
it's a
I would
unique color,
I would
too.
feel better if I got a ride in the car.
You got to make the ride to Waterbury,
Yeah.
I'm down the street.
All right.
I want to
good.
first of all make sure we want to thank Caitlin, his wife, his bride, an amazing woman. We understand from you, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing about Caitlin.
Yes.
And your two boys, Frankie and Jack. Dad here on the show live with us on Tuesday night.
Now, is it Frank the Third or
No, he's Frankie the Fourth.
he's
Wow.
four?
My
Okay.
grandfather was Frankie the One.
Wow.
Maybe the one.
Yeah.
You're Frank the Three.
That's right.
Okay.
So we want to thank Caitlin, Frank, and Jack very much for you guys allowing him to be here tonight. We know that he wants to be with you. More importantly, he can't wait to come home.
I do.
Dinner's probably waiting for you. Nice hot meal. What would Caitlin be making you for dinner tonight? I'm just throwing it out there.
I
Don't
think
say reservations.
No. I think she's probably cooking up some hummus and
Oh,
tabbouleh.
Hummus and tabbouleh.
Oh yeah.
I love
There you
it.
go.
Nice.
Yes.
We'll have to bring Caitlin on the show too, apparently.
Yes. She could bring you some good food.
All right, so let's talk about where are you from?
I'm from Middlebury, Connecticut.
Excellent.
But the family, my grandparents and work has always been in Waterbury, so I've spent a lot of time in Waterbury my whole life.
So my next question is, where'd you go to school?
I went to Pomperaug High School in Southbury, because Middlebury goes there with Southbury.
Yeah. And then college a little bit?
I did, yeah. I went to Quinnipiac University,
Really?
graduated in 11,
Congratulations.
and I'm
Awesome.
getting
Great
my
school.
MBA at Central right now as
Wow.
well. Yeah.
What'd you study?
Full-time family man and going for an MBA.
Oh, at Quinnipiac, I actually went to school, believe it or not, for film, video, and interactive media.
No kidding.
So that's what I studied at
Yeah,
Quinnipiac.
he can't operate his phone.
There you right. Exactly. I don't know what happened. Maybe my dad should try to get a refund or something.
Who's in charge of the phone buying and that kind of stuff? Is that Caitlin's job or is that your job?
It's mine, but I probably should turn it over to Kate.
Caitlin, can you please get him a new phone? He deserves it. He works hard. He just doesn't have the time to go get it, but he needs a new phone. It's not ringing, it's ringing, it's not talking.
It can't charge.
Screen is broken on both sides.
He's
It's
a
a
busy guy.
disaster.
We need help over here. All of your friends and family watching, all of your people who love you and buy cars from you, they can't believe you're on the show tonight probably. They're like, oh my God, he's celebrity status now. The car prices have just gone up 10%.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's not
No.
Just kidding. All right, let's get into you a little more. So how did you get into auto sales? Obviously,
Well, it being a family business, and as a young kid, sure, young man, that's good. I took a liking to cars. I've liked cars my whole life, so I'm passionate about it. And and I could do, I could work there and then work on my own vehicles as well, because I like the classic cars and stuff, old muscle cars like that. And that's basically how it happened.
Dad basically said, you want to go to school for film, enjoy yourself, have fun doing it, but reality, you're coming into the business.
You're coming into
Or else.
That's right. No, I also liked it for that reason, the flexibility, so I can still pursue a little bit of the film business because I love that.
We're going to get into the film part of Mr. Filmmaker over here. We're going to do it in a second show, do part 2. Is that fair, Eric?
Yeah.
Because Frank has got many layers to him. Is that fair?
I guess so, sure.
So now, let me ask a question. Do you have any kind of a mechanic background at all?
Not really, no. I'm not
So you
that good
can't
of a
fix them or anything like
I
that?
can do very little stuff.
But you know what you look at when the hood
Sure,
opens up. 'Cause,
exactly.
like, we're at various levels here. So Dave it has to shine in order for him to think that it's good.
And I would want, yeah, sure, right, exactly. But I like to play around with my own stuff. Something that's going to be available to the public. I'm not good enough, and I want to make sure.
You have the right people doing the right things in the shop to make the cars present themselves the way the buyers need them.
Exactly, and be safe.
Absolutely. Safe is important.
That's
Safe is very important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, especially since I bought a car from him.
Yeah, there you go.
You
Well,
did.
that's how we met.
Yeah.
So should we talk about that?
Yeah, so I was meeting a client that he's considering selling his house, a multifamily, right down the street from you.
Nice.
And Dylan was shopping for a used F-150. Specifically, he wants an F-150. So I passed your shop, and I was like, okay. And because I'm usually about 30 minutes ahead of schedule for most of my appointments, I had time to run in and talk to you real quick and find out about the truck. Yeah.
That's
So you walked in and saw Frank there.
Yeah.
So Frank's not only the owner of the business, but he's actually physically there. That's impressive.
Yeah, he was in the
He's hands-on.
office. Yeah, he was in the office.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
And he gave
My
me
father's the one who's not there that often.
and
I have to be there.
He served his
I know.
mind though.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
like, listen, I did this already. This is your turn. But a lot of times owners aren't in the business. That's the part about your business being so special is you're there.
He's hands-on.
We like to be there.
He's
too,
absolutely
you know?
hands-on.
You know?
One of the things I can tell you, and we'll get to the other stuff in a bit, but once I expressed interest in the truck, he printed up the Carfax for me, and it was like 17
Yes.
pages, which was good because that means that the car had a lot of servicing.
Right.
And I texted him and called him with a series of questions afterwards, and he was responsive immediately to both texts and calls. So
That's impressive.
I try to be, because it's things that's some stuff that I've had to work on. Sometimes you get overwhelmed and you forget.
And now that you see this phone, you're like, how the hell?
How the hell did he do it?
I didn't get the impression that you had. I mean, it's not your traditional place where you have like salesmen walking around the lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that. It's like, hey, what do I got to do to get you into this Mustang? You know what I mean?
The one thing I remember the most I thought was hilarious was his son asked, does it have a remote start? I said, yeah, it does. I hit the button and started up, and here it goes. Your car has the remote start. I don't have, my car doesn't have a remote start. It was funny, like, because it's a Lariat. That was a nice, it had the leather seats and everything.
He's
It was
20 years old. He's got specific requirements for a car. Remote start. No,
Hey,
no.
it is what it is. That's good. That was good stuff.
All right, so let's see. I got a bunch of questions here. We're already 20 minutes into the show. We need to get to know you a little bit.
You said there's a round two, which I'm excited about.
100%. All right. So how do you decide what kind of cars you will sell?
Well, over time, you realize what cars actually make a better used car.
That's a fact.
So like something, the trucks, Ford, Chevrolet, and I like Dodge too. And then, like sedans, a Toyota or a Honda are phenomenal used cars. sadly, some of the European stuff, you got to be careful,
Yes.
especially if they've been neglected. So you check out when you go to see a car, you see if it has, Cooper tires instead of Minnesotas or something like a lower name brand. If you know it has a better tire or a good battery, they took better care of it even before you look at the Carfax,
Very interesting things that you think about. If you kind of look at the outside details, kind of like, is the flash enough invested into the flash part, which is important to most people? Because if not, then they probably take very good care of the inside of the car.
Sure,
That's a very good point.
exactly.
I like that. It's kind of like a housing.
Sure, absolutely.
Or us, like my shoes, my watch, you could tell the person by, how they dress or stuff like that.
Yeah,
How well they
that's
take care of themselves.
True.
Yeah.
Next time I will comb my hair and maybe put on
Maybe not wear a knock.
Yeah, but you know what though, Eric, that's definitely true what you're saying, but then there's also something like, you're getting me, you know what I'm saying? All right,
No, we want the real you. So.
all right, that's good, that's good.
What is the criteria you use to buy and sell cars? Is there some kind of you mentioned just now when you look at a car based on some piece of the puzzle that is there a criteria you use to look at how?
But explain to Dave that you get them from auction though, right? Primarily
you get them from an auction, and dealers bring their repo companies, new car dealers, and even donation companies bring their stuff to the auction.
Interesting.
So you could I like buying a grandpa special from Vietnam veterans. Those are cool.
Yes.
Well
taken care of, well maintained.
For the most part. Sometimes, unfortunately, they've been sitting, but yes, and that's goes back to what I said about the battery and the tires. But then, you criteria to buy the car. There's avenues where you could scan the car through a Manheim Market Report and get an estimated value of it. That way, mileage. You could use past experiences like, well, that car sold for this, 2 weeks ago. I'll try to get it again for this price, or I could pay a little more because,
So basically, like in real estate, you're pulling comps on a car,
Sure.
right? To kind of understand the value and what people are going to buy and what. Okay.
Exactly. And then if you want a classic,
real estate related, this is so cool.
Yeah,
it's business.
Yeah.
Classic cars, they have like books, cars of particular interest. That's a cool book, and it gives you an estimated value. It's not the holy grail, but it gives you a base.
Supply and demand on a car can also make a difference, right? So
Sure.
we went through this pandemic, which there are no cars, so every car is worth $1 gazillion. Then more cars come into the system, and it kind of slows down a little, but still certain cars have more value than others because of the kind of
Absolutely
history the car has.
So the car you drove here, was that an auction car? Or?
No, that car I found in an old magazine called Auto Hunter.
Mm.
I've had that car 20 years.
What is it?
It's a 72 Camaro Rally Sport.
It's a bad BA
Oh,
car.
there you go. Oh, man. Do you have a rated R version of this show?
We might have to
All right, good.
It's a complete BA car. It's very impressive. It's got the red and white. Is it red and white?
Orange.
Orange and white.
Yeah.
It's got the racing stripe.
Yeah, it's pretty. You hear it coming up.
I upset some lady in the parking lot. She thought I flew in here pretty quick.
Yeah.
I felt bad. I upset her like that.
It looked like you passed the parking lot and turned back to come in. So, yeah.
Is that what I did? Maybe I didn't even realize what I was doing.
Yes, you did.
All right. Is there a max miles you will sell a car with?
To be honest, typically 200,000 or more is kind of, as my father says, the kiss of death.
The kiss of death.
But if I see sometimes you'll see like a Lincoln Town Car or like a taxi cab, Ford Crown Victoria, pretty similar vehicles, by the way. They have 400,000 miles. Sometimes it's almost like I look at it as a badge of honor.
Wow.
Like that thing made it that long. But yeah, 200,000, typically over that is people don't like it.
If you put a new engine in I'm not a car guy, so if I ask a dumb question in advance, please forgive
Ask
me.
away.
All right, but if you take a new engine, or if you decide to get a newer or a used newer engine and put it into that car that's 4,000 miles, does it get a second life where it goes back to zero again, or 20 or 50 or 100 or?
It could definitely extend the life of the car, but you have to worry about other things too, like the brakes, the transmission. there's definitely a time where you got to say, all right, this thing's it's ready for the boneyard.
So so you mentioned transmission, and I know zero about this. How long? What's the best resale car? You said Honda Accord. Is that?
You know what? I hate to say it. I have to say, probably like a Toyota Corolla or Camry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take a Toyota Corolla or Camry, right? And the car's got 300,000 miles on it, let's just say.
Yep.
Now you look at the transmission on the car. Is that something you can replace?
Yep.
Okay.
It
So you replace that transmission, and is it the transmission or the engine that makes the mileage not important, or is it a
It's
combination?
the engine.
It's kind of a combination of both, but the
Okay.
engine is probably more. That's where the miles really means the most.
So if you were to, and again, this may not be cost effective because I don't know what an engine or transmission costs, and you have this car, is that something you'd say, hey, I could put a new transmission, I could put a new engine, and we get 20 more years out of this car?
Sure, but typically, you still would do that. Sometimes, let's say something goes wrong at 150,000 miles.
Okay.
It's better off to do something like that at that sort of mileage, or even 100,000. Or the
Not
person.
wait till it's on the,
Yeah, when you're up
everything
at,
has to be replaced.
when you're up at 300,000, it's kind of like, all right. Now, if it's some sort of Camaro, something, or a Ferrari,
Right.
it's like, well, it's got a lot of miles, but it's a car, it's hard to get. You don't
Right.
want to throw it away. You take the miles, then you would do you
You
do
invest
something
into it
like
because it's so pretty, so special.
exactly.
I like that. Let's see. Do you offer financing for car buyers?
I typically like to sell them outright.
Cash.
Right. We're kind of a more affordable place, anywhere from 2,500 to 10,000.
That was my next question. So really, the most you're going to pay for a car, for the most part, is around 10 G's for a car. That makes things very affordable. So if you're looking to buy a car, this is important information here. Like a lot of times you're looking to buy a car like Eric was for his son, or for a family member, or maybe even for yourself, and it's your first time buying a car, or maybe you just can't afford an expensive car. You come and see Frank at Ernie's Auto, and you're going to be 2,500 to 10,000 for a car, and you're going to walk away with a car, or drive away with a car, not walk away with a car, drive away with a car. That's going to be in decent shape. That right? That you're gonna have.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you maintain it. Now, do they come back to you to maintain a car? Do they go to a dealership? How does that work?
No, they can come back.
Okay.
They can come back and we can service it for them.
So oil changes, brakes, the whole.
Sure, and then do some electric too. We do electric work there.
No kidding.
John Gadjo, he's the electrician there, and he does check engine lights, power windows,
Okay.
anything like that.
Excellent. Thank you, John, for being part of the team.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, John's an important part of the team.
Yes,
over
he
here.
is.
How many guys you have working with you in the team? You actually mentioned his name.
John and there's four of us.
Okay, so there's you, Dad, when he wants to be there because he's got time to relax.
He's there a lot.
I know.
Don't-
Frank Senior, my apologies. I'm not saying anything away from you.
No, but I know.
But hey, listen, it's short this time. So
Yeah.
he comes in a couple hours a day. How you doing? Make sure this happens. yada, yada, yada.
Exactly.
And then you're in charge, and then you got John.
And Christian helps
Christian.
run errands. Yeah.
Excellent.
And do the computer work.
Oh, he's the web guy.
Yes.
Oh, good to know. We'll get in touch with Christian also.
Yes, he could probably help me more than I am.
Christian, this is important to make sure this podcast is now on your website.
There you go.
So
All
who's the decision maker at the auctions?
Oh, my father, basically.
Mostly.
My father lives in Brantford, and the auction's in Hampton. It's not far from here.
Okay.
So he likes to go, and at night I could see the list ahead of time, and then we collaborate that way together.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How many cars on average would you say you pick up a week in an auction or a month?
How often is the auction?
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay. What day?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, we can't go. We have a podcast.
Wow.
Obviously, he's not there now, so.
Well,
Yeah, right. No, it's early. It's in the morning anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's in the morning anyway.
Right,
But
so
probably between 5 and 10.
a week.
Yeah,
Wow.
basically. Sometimes it's less, but
Depends what comes through the auction.
exactly.
You gotta be picky. You can't just pick anything.
Sure.
What
Even
I mean-
sometimes when you think you're being picky, sometimes you got to be careful.
Right. Is it a bidding war at these auto,
Sure,
things?
depending on what it is. Yeah.
Right. So like you, for example, see a car, you're like, oh, I like that one. and someone else is bidding up, you're like, that bastard, like, I need that car. I want that car. I'm willing to pay up to this much money for this car, and then someone overbids and they're like, forget it, I'm out.
Exactly. Yeah, you let it go. You let it go. Just what are you gonna do?
Because you don't want to oversell the car for somebody. You only want to be between this price and this price, so you don't want to overbuy the
Right.
car.
And
You got some questions over here.
John said thank you.
oh, cool. All right, no
All right,
problem.
John.
John. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know, well, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. So you got cars between 2,500 and 10,000. You don't want to overbid for it.
Exactly. So you got to keep. That's what I was going to say. You have to keep that in mind because you can't. If I'm not catering to the financing,
Yeah, but you also have to, because you haven't seen the vehicle yet. So
But
you get it to the shop
And
and
you're
it's
like,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, I've got to pour another grand into this thing.
exactly.
You know,
Like,
so
buy
you
the
have to
car.
have that buffer zone.
Dad buys a car, and you get to the shop, and you're like, Dad, what the car? And he's like, don't tell me about the car.
Exactly, and then, or vice versa, you know, and I'll do the exact same thing, and he yells at me. I'm like, you did the same thing last week. Why are you yelling at me?
And I tell you something, I grew up in a family business, and no matter what, you're still the 12-year-old boy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they dad loves you to pieces. He knows how smart you are. He knows how good you are. But sometimes it's all good, and you like him to be the boss.
Sure, yes.
Until he's done, he's the boss.
Yep, that's fine for me. Now that I'm older, it's just like you said, let it
26 years old, I love it. Yeah, 26.
26, that's right. So,
How old
yeah,
are the boys?
I just have the body of a 36-year-old.
How old are the boys?
I have Frankie the fourth he's almost 3, he's 2.5, I think.
Yeah.
And then Jack is 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's a new model.
Yes.
A new model.
yes.
No model, no
3
used
months
ones
old,
there, okay.
that's right.
So, any plans on getting him into business or what's the?
Yeah, he's 4 months, he'll be ready.
Yeah.
He'll be ready, he'll come in the carriage,
Does he have a car already?
yeah, two-step little motorcycle.
All right, so let's go with some questions over here. If you're a minimum, you're basically castle.
Mostly cash.
Well, so I work with a lending company, and I don't know about the credit. They classify it. They're not too fussy with credit.
If somebody could come in and buy a car, would you do financing?
They have,
And give somebody for them that could do the talk with them, help them out.
right, exactly. So that's for the, you know, when you get closer to that house, they have a couple of bucks to put down. You know?
Absolutely. You offer aftermarket warranties for cars.
I do not offer them. I mean, I know it's good for the customer to an extent, and it's you can make extra money. But you know, being part of the service world as well, I know it's hard to honor them. You know, they it's a slow pay for the mechanic.
Yeah.
So I don't. You know, I'd rather just give them a fair price. I encourage them to have a mechanic work on the car ahead of time, and that's basically.
So if you see like the money for construction, is that, I mean,
That's normal.
okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you take you on the road with them, or you go by themselves?
They go by themselves. We went by ourselves.
Yeah, So yeah, we take the license and phone number and issue proof of insurance,
Okay.
and then they go for a ride.
How many days do you go for a ride?
About a week, I start to get nervous. You know?
Eric took
After
the car
a
for Eric took the car for a ride. He should have been. Like, anyway,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, yeah. We called some crash and then, you know, that didn't cost us anything. It's like a 30-minute walk.
So messed up and so oh my god.
Imagine what.
So when I asked this question, how many cars do you? Let me ask this question directly. How many cars do you sell on average a month? Would you say?
Believe it or not, between, you know, it's closer between 20 and 30.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a small place. It's a lot of work for only 4
Yeah.
guys.
Absolutely.
But you know,
That's impressive.
mostly in the mid-20s, or you know, we only have an inventory of 20 cars at all. And
So that was my thought. How many cars should we keep in the lot? You said 20 cars. on
20 to
average.
25, yeah. So
Tight, too.
yeah, so and then you know, because there's a lot of
This one's speaks
cars that are not ready to, and have to go to the boneyard, and they haven't done yet. There's a lot of
Yeah, Dylan was like, it's a truck, you know? It's like, you're gonna have to, yeah.
What's a bone?
Sorry, I love that term, but it's a junkyard or a scrapyard.
Oh God.
I like that, you know.
Oh my God, you gotta get T-shirts. Frankie Bones.
There's mine. All right.
I mean, you gotta get T-shirts. Come on now.
All right. Well,
Kate, like,
Yeah.
on the marketing.
He needs that nudge. She needs that nudge.
Caitlin's sister can do that. Madison Rose
What?
Designs on Instagram.
Oh, there you go.
She can make
Hey,
T-shirts.
there we go. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
yeah,
go.
That's what she does?
Well, I think marketing and stuff like that. She has the ability, or at least make the design.
Could be a future guest.
I was, well, that's gonna do that.
Yeah.
But my point of view, if she does it great, now we work with other companies to use it.
All right, that's cool.
Because you want to get shirts done, you want to get them very easily done, and you want good quality. You should be walking around with some comfortable like, swag. How about an Ernie's Auto jumpsuit?
I have the slogan for Ernie's. We can test it out.
Let's go for it.
If you don't want to spend a lot of dough, Ernie's is the place to go.
I freaking
I
love it.
developed that
That's
at 18 years old.
fantastic.
That was his age.
So the rhyme was intentional?
Yeah.
Okay, just check.
Come on, hey, look, can I say something? We should have tracksuits for you and Kate.
Tracksuits.
I like it. I like
We
it.
have Team Powerhouse tracksuits. Tracksuit is the ensemble.
That I don't wear.
A zip up in the pants. You gotta have tracksuits, you gotta have hats, you gotta have t-shirts. And anytime someone buys a car, they'll leave with a free
I
t-shirt
like that.
because they should have,
And
or a
If
tumbler,
I were
right? A tumbler for the people, if they go in the car wherever they are. It's Ernie's Auto wherever they are.
That's right. I like it. And if I went to buy a car and got a free T-shirt, I'd be very happy.
100%.
Yeah.
You're proud of where you
Yeah,
bought
Yeah,
the car
exactly.
from.
There you go. It's a good idea.
All right, team out there, Caitlin and was it Melissa? Madison and Caitlin, you guys are in charge of marketing, new swag for the team and the company. All right.
I like it.
A couple more questions. I know we're getting late in the show. I apologize. What's your biggest customer base? Where are they coming from? Who are they?
Well, believe it or not, you have a lot of repeat customers.
I believe
There's a lot of people that have been going there for a long time. They, when my dad started, and 10 years ago, and they've been coming back. And it's a good traffic count there. There's a lot of drive, just like Eric. I mean, you didn't even see the
Was
truck
it the
on.
flashing lights that he saw? Ernie's Auto, right?
Right, I had the squiggly guy, the air guy.
Yeah.
No, he just drove by and saw it, so there's a lot of traffic there still. And then the internet,
That's
Good
awesome.
reviews, we have good reviews too, I
It's an
believe. I'm not trying to
extremely
toot my own
busy,
horn.
extremely busy intersection there. You get a lot of
25,000
traffic.
cars a day go by.
Yes, you get a lot of traffic.
You just mentioned reviews. That is probably the most important thing that people can do for you is write a review about Ernie's Auto, write about Frank, your experience and work with his team. That is
You didn't ask me to do that.
You didn't even do it.
No, you didn't ask me to.
All right.
Eric, you know about reviews more than anybody else.
It's all right, no,
I'll do
don't
it.
worry about
I'll do
it,
it.
it's all right.
100%. All right. Why should a buyer feel comfortable to work with you when you're buying a car?
Well, you could buy with confidence there. You're buying a car that's a little older. It's more affordable. You sometimes, even no matter how you go through the car, you still may encounter a little issue, especially if something had been sitting for a while and you do a few odds and ends to get it safe for the road, but something else can go just with use. And we stand behind what we sell. We're there for you, even if you buy the car as is. We stand behind it, and that's why my dad's been there for a long time.
Ernie's Auto, you gotta go check this place out. Located on 24 Meriden Road in Waterbury. Get to know Frank and his family and his guys John and
Christian.
Thank you so much. Caitlin, Jack, and Frank, thank you so much for letting our dad over here be in the show. The man, the myth, the legend.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to get to the next part of the show. We're going to give out a free tumbler to all our people who are watching. And if anybody wants to be
Not
a
to
part,
art, just the one.
well, the one.
We spin a wheel and then they get it.
All right.
Well, there's 30,000 people just on TikTok watching you. Just so you know.
Sweet.
All right.
Wow.
And
Okay.
you have about another
Great.
6,000 on Facebook and another few thousand on Instagram. And God only knows how many people are watching your page right now because we just posted it there. And I'm sure that Christian's going to repost this on the website. We want to get as many people and traffic to your place as possible. All right, so
We got Gianfranco D'Amelio.
Oh, yeah.
Frankie.
Oh, yeah.
She said Frankie the gentleman. And Frankie with one G.
That's,
Frankie.
he's from Nucci's Deli in Waterbury. That's
Nucci's, really?
Nucci's. I like this.
excellent
the name alone.
sandwich. That's the best sandwich. You got to go there and
We
try
got
it
to
out.
bring Nucci's Deli on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
You should bring him
Yeah.
out here. He's fantastic.
You'll make it happen.
I'll make
You'll
it happen.
make it
Did you
connect.
hear that, John
We
Franco?
love, John, listen, we love bringing on local businesses. We talk real estate and we do local businesses. And Eric and I love to bring business on the show to get them well known through the public because you are part of the community. They're people who we need in our lives to make our lives better, whether it's by mouth,
Yeah,
Drive.
they're the lifeblood of the local economy.
100%.
That's what I'm talking
He said,
about.
I'd absolutely love to.
All right, there you go.
Beautiful.
You got to
You gotta bring sandwiches though.
When
Yeah,
you're
gotta
in
bring
town
some
plot,
samples.
Waterbury, that's where you got to go. Get us something nice. I'm telling you. Trust me, I know. Look at me.
He's a billboard for
Yeah.
the sandwiches.
We're gonna do a commercial for the sandwich
This is
shop.
You know?
Hey, it's not that bad. Jeez. What the? You know what? I opened the door.
Yeah, you-
Yeah.
All he's gonna do is break balls. All
That's
day
good.
long.
That's good. That's what we
because
want.
the
That's
love
what we
is
want.
here. The love is here.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go to the Tumblr. Let's give it a free Tumblr. And again, if you're out there, you want to be a Tumblr winner, you've got to let us know. You got to go on Facebook, Instagram, say I want to be in the wheel, and we'll get you on there to win a free Tumblr, just like our friend Frank has one here tonight. All right.
Thank
And
you,
maybe in the
guys.
future, in Ernie's Tumblr.
Ooh,
All right,
maybe
let's start big stuff.
I'm going to always keep it, but I'm going to have Ernie keep it. But I have to keep up? No. All right.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Lunch off Instagram.
Wow, Christina's Breakfast and Lunch. Thank you so much for being part of our another local business, right?
Nice.
Thank you for being part of our show. Get in touch with us. We can get you these beautiful tumblers for you. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us this Tuesday night. I know we got to a little bit of a slow start with some technical issues, but it was well worth it, as you know. And the man, the myth, the legend, Frankie Bones, Ernie's Auto, all right? And we'll be back on the show again, talking a little bit more about some other things you're into.
Film
Sure,
stuff.
Sure.
Film stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Very exciting news, and we want to thank you again for being on the show tonight.